works. Now, with regard to Thaxton and Murray, now I know what you're saying, you'd love to fight them, but that's another, in some ways, do you consider that a bit of unfinished business? The fact that you didn't clean up in this country so that there's no one could possibly say you're not the best lightweight, as opposed to, it's someone's opinion, obviously your opinion is you're the best lightweight, other people have different opinions, but in your heart of hearts, again, and I keep saying that expression, would you have liked to have had a Thaxton and Murray fight?
Yeah, you know, I like to fight anyone. It's one of them things, and I like to have, you know, boxed John Thaxton and John Murray just to shut them up, you know, to prove to them, you know, I'm a better fighter than them, because, you know, they're always going to think what would have happened if we fought Amir Khan. But, you know, I know what would have happened. I would have beat them, and I probably still would have got criticism. Oh, you beat John Thaxton, he's getting on, and whatever. But
is it probably too late now, though? Have you got now to that level?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I mean, it's not necessarily, sorry for answering Amir, it's not necessarily too late, but both of them would have to go out and do something sensational. I mean, I'm a Murray fan, I'm a Thaxton fan, I think Thaxton's been a great servant, but they'd have to go out and do something sensational to somehow get themselves back in the line for Amir, because at the moment...
So, you know, I've got nothing against any fighter, you know, it's a sport. You know, they're both great fighters, and I think the British public would love a fight like that, but now it's up to them to, you know, get off their backside and achieve something to fight me.
Yeah, that is the absolute bottom line.
I appreciate the sentiments.
Let's go. I want to go back to after the Prescott fight, when you're out with Freddie in his gym, which isn't a great gym, isn't a great area. People think about Hollywood as though it's not all beautiful, it's not all glamour. Yeah. So you're out there. You're out there with one or two other people, because you're not out there with your mum and your dad.
No, well, my dad spends a lot of time down there. Okay. Just make sure everything's going okay. One of my friends, Saj, is always with me as well. Okay. Just to, you know, give him some company. Younger brother comes down and trains at Freddie's gym now and then. And so I've always got, you know, someone with me just to, you know, because if I was on my own, I'd be locked in there, you know, I'd be going mad. What
about food? Do you cook your own food over there?
Yeah, we get our own food cooked and everything, and it's all healthy food. Even though, you know, I'm not going to be killing myself making the weight, I'm still going to be having, you know, healthy food and having the clean, good food.
Because a few years ago, you might have changed, but you did like to eat a little bit of junk food, didn't you?
Oh, I did a lot, yeah. You know, I was always in the restaurants and takeaways, getting all fast foods and stuff.
We all like the fast food,
and
Steve.
you know, now I'm getting probably more professional. You know, I've changed so much, and I've stopped. You know, 4 or 5 weeks before the fight, I'm so, you know, so dedicated, eating the right food, no fizzy drinks, and drinking the right energy drinks and everything. And you know, it's hard, but after the fight, you know, I appreciate it. You know, I appreciate food. I appreciate you know, having fizzy drinks and stuff. Yeah, relax.
Now, before we move on to talk about Freddie's gym and the sparring and the build-up, just tell us what you're doing in Bolton at the moment, because you got your gym. Is that up and running?
Yeah,
your academy or whatever you're calling it.
Yeah, we've got it up and running now, and it's been a year. We had our first show. We had about 15 kids. We had 14 winners.
Oh, that's not bad.
So it's not too bad. And we get about 400 kids coming in and out the gym.
Throughout the week?
Without the week, yeah. Which is brilliant. You know, keeps the kids off the streets, you know, keeps them safe and gives them a bit of discipline. You know, that's what boxing did to me. And I pop in the gym now and then so the kids can see me, and, you know, I jump in the ring with them, have a little spar with them, get beat up, I fall on the floor, let them beat me up and stuff. It gets them happy, you know. They want to come in the gym and they ask me, when can we have a fight again? And I was like, look, mate, you better take it easy on me. But the gym's brilliant. You know, I think it's the best thing I've done.
Yeah. Now, what about, you're going to be out with Freddie this weekend. Of course, he's going to be busy with Manny. You're going to be ringside for Ricky and Manny next week? You're going to Vegas?
Yeah, I spoke to Freddie over the phone and spoke to Manny as well. And Freddie said, what I would like you to do is, on Monday, Freddie and Manny are driving to Las Vegas, which is literally 3 hours away from LA. He goes, if you can come with us there.
You must drive fast to get there that quick. I've done that.
He's
Freddie's got an AMG, so he's got a big Mac. So yeah, he said, if you could come with us down there while Manny's training comes going sharp, while he's sharpening up and tapering down, we can start your camp. And you can stay around Manny as well, so, you know, give Manny some company as well. He can give you some company.
The media will be there, so you get used to big fight time.
The exposure's going to be brilliant. And
who do you fancy for Amir? Because you obviously train with Manny, but I know
terrible question, Andy.
This is what we do. We put people on the spot.
No, it's going to be it's going to be a 50-50 fight because look, you got Ricky Hatton. If he's going to want to win the fight, he has to start quick. Because what Manny does best is he's got a quick work. He's got high work rate. He's a quick fighter. If Ricky loses the first few rounds, it's going to be hard for him to come back.
Yeah.
Whereas Ricky has to stay toe-to-toe to him. He has to fight him every punch. And, you know, I think Ricky can dishearten him. I don't think Manny's fought a fighter like Ricky Hatton. So it's going to be an explosive fight.
It's a great fight, man.
And I'm going to be inside there with a couple of the
We'll do a bit. I'll grab you for a bit of
yeah,
Five Live.
Problem, yeah,
Bit of BBC 5 Live. Nice advert there.
Yes, always one for a plug once a year.
Amir, before we let you go, man, we really appreciate you coming down. One of the things that fight throws forward, and you moving up to light welterweight throws forward, is this idea of you fighting Ricky in some kind of massive, break box office British fight. Is that? I know that you've mentioned it before. Ricky's mentioned it before. Is it something that you really think about? Do you think it could happen?
Well, I don't know. If it could happen. Anything in boxing could happen.
Absolutely,
boxing on them sports.
You could fight De La Hoya next year.
Exactly.
You can come back. I'm telling you, yeah.
It's about how things just go in the next year. To be honest, I'm a fan of Ricky, and I wouldn't like to fight him because I wouldn't like to fight a fan. But maybe in a year's time, if I'm a world champion at light welterweight and I'm still at that weight and we both progressing and we both at the same level, it'd be a massive fight for the British fans. I think the British fans would love the fight, and it'd be so huge. Whenever we had a fight like that in Britain.
Wembley, somewhere in Manchester.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have someone local.
Oh yeah, cool.
And
man.
I think it'd be brilliant. But we just see how things go. But to be honest with you, I'd rather have Ricky Hatton supporting me in my corner and giving me some tips, all along my professional career.
Well, listen, Amir, we're going to do our usual thing. We're going to shake hands and thank you.
Thanks very much.
Well done, boss, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure, wasn't it?
Actually, I should say we have had about, literally, we must be getting 600-700 emails while you've been on. Apologies we haven't got through. We will get through some a little later. Maybe we'll get you back on once you become world champion.
Oh, definitely. I'd love to come on again, yeah.
Fantastic. Right, we're going to take a break. You heard it here. Amir will be in the show, in the studio, once he becomes world champion. When we come back, George Grove.
Khan thinks his world title fight against Ukrainian Andreas Kotelnik in June will be the toughest of his career. Khan will step up to light welterweight to challenge for the WBA belt.
He's defended the WBA title 3 times, so he's a tough customer. He's going to be tough. He's going to be as tough or tougher than Barrera fight. But I think at this time in my career, I think this fight has to happen because my confidence is high. I'm with the right team, and I'm young. I've got the youth behind me, and I think I can go in this fight and win this fight. I've always dreamt to be a world champion. I used to remember watching likes of Nazim Ahmed and Ricky Hatton and Mike Tyson, and when they used to win the world titles, I used to say I'd love to have a belt like that. So my time's come now. I'm going to make the most of it.
Well, the promoter, Frank Warren, says he's taking a big risk putting Khan in with the Ukrainian, but he thinks he can win.
Of course it's a risky fight. It's a very risky fight for him, but I believe in Amir Khan. I believe he has the ability to win this fight. I believe he has the speed to do it. He's got everything in his favour to win this fight, but it's not going to be easy. He's not fighting a slouch here, and this guy fancies it. He fancies the job. That's why he's here. This is his toughest fight today. I always felt Barrera was going to be an easy job for him. I mean, I said that before the fight, and this is a totally different fight altogether. Number one, he's going up a weight. He's fighting in a higher division, and he's never fought in that division. He's not having any warm-up fights at light welterweight. He's going straight in. This is a tough fight for him. Styles make fights. This will be a very, very tough fight.